I'm sure you've noticed by now that life isn't always sunshine, rainbows, butterflies, and roses. Life is, however, full of constant crisis, changes, and transitions for which we are rarely prepared for. It's up to us to decide how we are going to react, if we are going to roll with the punches and expect the unexpected or not. We woke up to a huge problem recently at my home. There was, notice I said was, a huge pepper tree in our yard. The tree was probably 100 years old and was home to generations of bees. Well, the hive split the tree and broke it in half. I only discovered the situation when I went out to our car to leave. It presented a huge problem. All the residents' vehicles were blocked in. Where was the joy in this problematic situation? First off, we were very fortunate. When it broke, the tree fell perfectly between two of the houses. Our neighbor is a gardener, and his work truck with all his equipment was already gone for the day. It would have been crushed otherwise. A piece of the tree managed to somehow go under his other truck, and branches filled the bed, but there wasn't any damage. The only casualties of the day were our uncle's shed and a crack in his windshield. Other than inconvenience and a team effort to clear a path, it was amazing that there wasn't any other damage. Here's the cool thing, though. We got to experience something that we never would have outside of this situation. Remember the bees? We got to see behind the scenes and see the inside of their hive. It was amazing to be able to engage in such an awesome photo shoot. My wife even got within an inch or so of the hive to get a video of them. They were amazing. They made the experience a little less daunting. The bees were the joy of the day. Remember, the joy is in the journey. What if I told you that the struggles in life are a part of the joy? I know it's difficult, but finding joy is in our control. Finding the little things to be grateful for is so important. Having an attitude of gratitude allows us to be more joyful. It opens us up to being able to enjoy the moments that pass by all too quickly. Really think about this for a second. Are you enjoying your journey or falling into the trap of only focusing on the destination? Do you have an attitude of gratitude? Do you find the moments of joy in your life? When life comes along and shakes you, how do you react? Go with me here. Imagine that you are holding a hot cup of coffee. You know, so hot that it even has a warning on the cup's lid to remind you that it's hot. As you're walking to your seat, someone bumps into you and spills hot coffee everywhere. Pop quiz, show of hands. Who thinks that you spilled the coffee because someone bumped into you? Who thinks that you spilled the coffee because you didn't react differently? And who thinks that you spilled the coffee because there was coffee in the cup? Didn't you only spill coffee because there was coffee in the cup? Had there been tea in the cup, you would have spilled tea instead, right? What to fill the cup with was your choice, therefore affecting what spilled out of it when the crisis occurred. When life shakes you, which it will, what is inside of you will spill out. What's in your cup? What spills out when your life gets tough? Do you spill out anger, bitterness, harsh words, and knee-jerk reactions of irritability and annoyance? Or does joy, gratefulness, peace, humility, forgiveness, gentleness, and kindness spill out of you? Do you ever have those days? You know the ones that joy seems impossible to find. What about days that you're in a hurry to get somewhere or something? I think we can all relate to this. Have you ever had a real go-getter attitude at work, school, or church? You love what you do, you're good at it. Then it happens. Your passion is recognized. You get the promotion that you've been working towards, or maybe you are asked to take on a responsibility, and you want to, you're excited to accept the challenge. The previous goal or destination isn't an end, but rather a beginning of another journey. As it turns out, with the challenge comes bigger worries, more responsibility, and pressures that you hadn't considered before jumping in. You've finally made it to the lowest rung of the next ladder. The question is, are you going to be joyful in the next journey? Are you going to be the same go-getter and be excited to learn and grow? Or are you going to feel bogged down along the way and miss out on your joys? Does life or work feel like a grind, even though you're doing exactly what you want to and things are good? Do you have what you've worked so hard to achieve, so it feels wrong to complain? Well, it happens to everyone at some point or another. The trick is to rediscover and recapture your joy. Easier said than done, right? Maya Angelou wrote, "Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away." There it is. Focus on the moments. That's the roadmap to finding that joyful feeling, the moments. The thing is that we create so much busy work in our lives that all too often we miss out on those moments that we should be finding joy in. We get to be in such a hurry that we miss out on what is important in life. We get so focused on the goal or destination that we forget that the process, the journey, is the important part. It's not the attainment of the goal that the lesson is learned or the joy is found, but in the journey. Life is about the moments, not how fast we can get through them. Obviously, we can't drop or delegate our life away. However, we can adjust our sails and approach the journey differently. When I sat down to really think about the joys I miss out on, I realized this. Too often, I set unrealistic goals and deadlines for myself. Our society is one of instant gratification. We want things now. That's just not realistic, is nearly impossible, and is set up for disappointment and heartache. Here are 6 things that I am guilty of allowing to steal my joy, and I imagine that some of us are alike, you and me. Number 1, I make fantastic to-do lists. They're a mile long when I'm done, because I don't want to forget anything that I need to do. Of course, lists a mile long aren't realistically possible to achieve. Usually I manage to get a few things checked off my list of 20 to-dos, which means I have more than a dozen unchecked items staring back at me from my list. It makes me feel as though I didn't get enough accomplished. The feeling of having to rush to get things done doesn't allow for me to enjoy the activities that I love, want, or even need. It's easy to be disheartened by the things I didn't accomplish, and those negative feelings steal my joy. Number 2, I don't remember to stop and celebrate my successes nearly enough. Celebrating even the small things can't help but bring joy. Number 3, slack, what's that? I don't cut myself enough of it, let alone allow myself a moment to stop and smell the roses. Taking a break and relaxing is crucial to setting myself up for success, yet I don't do it enough. A little slack helps me refocus and recharge my batteries. I wonder why it is so hard to do something that is so beneficial. I'm here today recharging my batteries with all of you. That's what we're doing, right? Taking a break from everything else and refocusing on what is important. I'm sure glad that I'm here. Being with all of you brings me joy. Number 4, often I have too many pots in the fire and balls in the air. It's far too easy to say yes, isn't it? What I find is that even though I've said yes to things I genuinely love, want, or need to do, I stretch myself too thin. By being stretched too thin, I feel as though I fall out of alignment with my bigger goals. Some opportunities or circumstances demand my immediate attention. Some of them I must grab onto with both hands or dive into head first. This is life, and that will inevitably happen. But there are things that I could leave for later or accept help for. I need to learn to accept that it's okay to find more joy in what I can do. Number 5, bless and release. I need to learn to bless and release. What I mean by that is once I ask for help or accept help, I need to stop being stubborn and trying to do it all myself anyway. I really try to have that attitude of gratitude. There's far more joy in it. And finally, number 6. This one is a tough one for me. I find it particularly difficult to not worry about decisions that I've made. As hard as it is, I know that I can find more joy in making my decision sticking with it, experiencing the results, and learning from the journey. All these things are within my control. It is up to me to choose to be joyful. It is up to me to enjoy my own journey, and it is up to you to do the same. It is so incredibly difficult to feel joyful when you're under the gun. Believe me, I know. Here's the thing that I know I need to stop and remember. I am in control of my journey. Simply put, I need to stop putting myself under the gun. Do you recall my asking earlier how you feel when you check a few things off your to-do list that's a mile long? I asked how it makes you feel to have all the rest of your undone tasks taunting you from the paper. Now think about this. Your to-do list is only 3 or 4 tasks deep for the day. How do you imagine it would feel to scratch each one off as you complete the task? More than that, how do you think it would feel to be able to really focus on the task at hand, do it well, and dare I say, enjoy it? I know that I feel much more relaxed and successful when I allow myself to do this. You see, being miserable and missing the moments is not success, even if you do manage to check all 20 things that need to be done off your agenda. Focusing on just a few things, as I said, allows us to do what we take on well as to learn, grow, and be excited about what we love, want, and need to do. Imagine being passionate and genuinely excited about the things that need your attention. Do any of the mistakes that I'm guilty of sound familiar to you? Deep down, I know what I need to do is experience joy and fulfillment. I need to stop making excuses for not doing it. Here are 4 things that I'm really trying to focus on. Number 1, remembering to stop and take much-needed breaks. Breathing in some fresh air and stopping to smell the roses is often what I need. It's amazing how clear, focused, relaxed, and productive I return after even a short break. Number 2, choosing a few things each day to focus on that need my attention. I'm no different than anyone else. To feel joy and fulfilled, we all need a way to add value to our worlds. Call it a purpose, a calling, or an agenda. There is joy in finding a way to add value to the world around us. Number 3, having someone or something to love is of the utmost importance. Research has shown that relationships are vital to our health. There are great joys with those we love. I try to spend time with the people that I truly enjoy. And number 4, hope. Having something to look forward to makes me happy. Planning a vacation, a day out with family, an outing with a friend, or taking a few minutes to create new goals to get excited about all bring me joy. I think that's because hope leads to everything else. As with some farming, sometimes we must burn it all to the ground for joy to grow. Farmers plant seeds in their fields, right? Those seeds cannot grow if the weeds and decaying plants aren't cleared. They get choked out. The farmers burn it to the ground. Well, I think that for our seeds of joy to grow, we need to burn the chaos in our lives to the ground and start fresh. Our joy depends on it. Let me ask you, what are you going to burn to the ground? What balls are you going to toss in the air? What pots are you going to take out of the fire? What are you going to focus on? What are you going to change in your life to allow yourself to cultivate joy? I personally am going to focus on hope that fosters joy. I'm going to turn my crazy schedule into a stable one that I can be successful with. My unrealistic expectations are going to be made more functional. Outstretched boundaries of mine are going to be reduced to healthier ones. Of course, I value and find joy in my relationships with my wife, family, friends, and church, and I will always do my best to add value to my world. As they say, we learn the most from our mistakes. Hopefully, we learn enough from them to avoid unnecessary stresses and to allow ourselves to be filled with as much joy as we can be. I don't know about you, but I really want to spill out positivity when life bumps into me. I want to recognize the moments that I can find joy in, because life is most definitely a journey that I want to enjoy. I guess what I'm trying to say is that achieving goals and milestones may feel great in the moment, and you should enjoy those successes, but that feeling is fleeting. Your journey will go on and will lead to more incredible moments that will take your breath away. They all count. Life is about owning our own stories. It's about being present with where we're at on our journey. It's about learning more about ourselves through the process and being more of who we are and not who we think we should be. It's about finding joy in the here and believing we are worthy now. Because the truth is, life is too short to delay our happiness. Each destination or goal is just one point on the journey. Even if it were to give us the high we are looking for, it is fleeting. We'll find ourselves on the next journey, heading towards a new destination, focused on a new goal or eye on a new prize. You know, the bottom rung of the next ladder. That's the way it works, because our journey doesn't stop until we do. And even then, the end is simply another beginning. In the meantime, if we live for the destination, we will miss out on the joy we could have had along the way. Indeed, there is more joy available to us in the journey than there is in the destination alone. I am in control of my time. I am in control of my life. Energy is contagious, whether it's positive or negative. Joy is contagious. I am really going to try to be more mindful of what I'm spilling out into the world and what I allow into mine. Are you? The joy is in the journey. Enjoy yours. I'm sure going to enjoy mine. Please join me in our final hymn,